Good afternoon from Bali, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. I hope that you enjoy the new background today. I'm in a new place, and I'm still in Indonesia. I'm in what's called the Bali Island, or the Gili Islands in Bali. Well, outside of Bali, but part of Indonesia. So I'm loving this environment, and I think you can probably tell why. Well, anyone who loves the ocean would understand how I would be feeling here, and it's such a beautiful feeling. And I wanted today to talk about our actions. And right now, if you can hear that jingling bell, it's actually a horse-drawn carriage that's going by. Let me see if I can give you a view. I hope you're able to see that, but it's such a lovely thing to see a number of these carriages going by, for sometimes to take people across. Sometimes workers are carrying different bits of equipment, stones, rocks. Very interesting. And again, so it's a very different style of existence than what I've been feeling in Bali so far. So here in the Gili Islands, it's definitely very relaxed for sure, and there's all sorts of good and not so good that can happen everywhere, but I'm definitely enjoying the good here. So today, in this environment, I was actually inspired to share with you some ideas that have been talked about forever, and through all sorts of scripture, but also through all sorts of writing, and certainly through people interacting with one another. And I thought I'd start with a very, very well-known quotation from Shakespeare, and it's from Hamlet. And this is the quotation, which you might know. It says, "To be or not to be, that is the question." And that's usually where most of us stop. And it's just that very philosophical question of to be or not to be. And of course, we know that all of Shakespeare's writing was quite deep, and it was quite philosophical too, which is right up my alley. And this one is the one that has come to me. So I'm going to read the rest of this quotation so you're aware of some of the thoughts that follow this line in this play. And it says, "To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing them, end them." And I'll read that one more time, because maybe it wasn't as clear as you might need to think about it for a minute. So here, to be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. And this is such an important quotation and perspective that I believe Vedanta has talked about. So Advaita Vedanta definitely talks about, but I definitely also feel that it is the deeper philosophy and depth of all spiritual traditions, all religions. And here in the Gili Islands, I'm learning that here on this particular island especially, but maybe all the islands, it's largely Muslim population. And you might know from my previous videos that Bali is largely Hindu population. And I like unity, and I really love seeing the commonalities in all of us. And I look at this quotation from Shakespeare, and again, it was brought to me through some introspection and self-reflection, and then again as things come up on my computer. And this idea that Shakespeare is talking about here is this whole idea, is it better to live or to die, when we see so much injustice, so much wrong that we ourselves do or other people do around us. And some people could take that in a very basic way, that, oh, stay alive or die. And I'm going to allow you, or take you with me, a little bit deeper, and understand that based on other things that I've talked about in my videos. And today too, I want to remember that every night we kind of die. We die to the ego. We're not who we are by our title. We're not who we are in terms of our form. Sometimes we can dream that we're someone else, and we feel like that's someone else. So in the middle of the night, we're not even aware of the body that's lying on the bed that is dreaming whatever it's dreaming. Now, a lot of the times we will be in that dream somewhere. Sometimes we see things happening to us. Sometimes we're doing things. Sometimes we're having fun. Sometimes we're not. And a lot of times we look in terms of Advaita Vedanta, and we can see that, wow, the dream space is just a continuation of this kind of wakeful but different dream space, because we don't have as much control of our limbs We don't have that body control, yet the mind has a lot of control, and it definitely is drawing us into the things that have been on our mind, and we play those out sometimes in dreams. Then when we go into deep sleep, we let go of that mind space too, and that is that deep space of no thing, which is where meditation takes us to. Now why? Why would I say all of this? Because in that space of no space or deep sleep, or in our best living lives, we die to the ego that we have created for ourselves even in our waking space, and that is full alignment. So sometimes people do this through meditation or through mindfulness practices, where we start seeing, what is this mind thinking? What is this body feeling? What are my actions? And these are so important to align, because when we're really aligned, we're aligned with some higher energy. You know, we call it the higher source. Some people can call it God. Some might call it the universe. And all of this comes through this form, and this form gives us a wonderful opportunity to act in this world. And to act from a space of that alignment is a very, very powerful space, and this is what I'd like to remind us about. This quotation I also wanted to share with you is by Vedavyasa, and some of you know this name, and certainly in Hinduism or in Advaita Vedanta or in Vedic literature, this is definitely a very familiar name. This quotation is one that I posted the other day on my Facebook and LinkedIn, but it says this: it is nature that causes all movement. Deluded by the ego, the fool harbors the perception that says, I did it. And this is that whole thing that, okay, every time we feel like I've done this, I said this to this person, I did this, we can consciously choose to do that. Now we know sometimes you really want to speak to someone. It's like, I really want to say something to this person. I really want to thank them for something they did, but you just can't find that person. You don't get that opportunity to speak. And you can send them prayers, and you can send them positive intentions. You can send them the energy that is known as the causal space of that intention of, I'm helping. This is how I'm helping. This is how I look at things around us that we are not actually in part of, that we're actually hearing about so many different little wars, little big wars, people dying every day. We hear about something or other, some injustice. Can we send them that energy from that causal space, which is a very, very powerful space? It's a space from the heart, and then through the thoughts, and then through words, and then through actions if possible. And so this is the idea of the ego saying, I did it. Now we know that if we're thinking about alignment, divine energy works through all of us to help whatever we set our minds to. So when we take a conscious decision of, I want to send a prayer or a blessing or some kindness towards someone, that's divine energy coming through us, but we will take credit of, I said something really nice to someone. I did that. I did something really nice for someone. I made a new company. I make a lot of money. I have a big house. I have a car. Anything where we give ourselves credit, it's where the ego has taken over, where I did that. And unless we involve the divine, which has actually allowed us to do everything, we're not in alignment, or we've lost alignment at that moment, and then we can redirect our alignment. So I thought I'd talk about this other quotation here too. And I'm exchanging the words in this quotation. I'll let you know what the actual word is, but I'm going to exchange the words because I'm in a unique environment right now that I want to share with you and share some of the contemplation and reflection that's coming from this space, which is in line with everything I've been talking about through my videos for quite some time now. This quotation says, whoever does good must know that it is divine energy who allowed him to do so, and whoever is protected from evil must know that it is divine energy who protected him. And this is so powerful because no matter which religion we look at, we can put the word divine energy, we can put the word God, we can put Krishna, we can put Shiva, we can put Jesus, we can put I did it. I put it into I did it as in me, I, Hanifa, not I, higher self. If I think I did it and I think I did it, that's this mind attaching to the ego. And this ego is this mind. And this is just that union, that this mind really believes that it really is the mind. And yet, if we did not have that power from something else that actually gives energy to our mind, we wouldn't have had the thought, we wouldn't have had the words, we wouldn't have had the actions. So I really want to bring our attention to this. And now when we look at this quotation, remembering that when something good happens, it's because something has helped us get something good, or achieve something good, or think something good. And when something not so good happens, sometimes we've been protected, we have no idea that we have been. Well, we will notice the things that, oh, no one protected me in this. Someone has always protected us, or something has always protected us, and energy has protected us through us to protect us. And yet we like to think that, oh, I know the right places to go so that I don't get into those sorts of situations. I know what to say, I know what to do, I know how to be a strong business person, I know how to be a kind healthcare practitioner. All of it is the same. When we get into the ego space, this is the space that's not useful. So I come back to this quotation. Whoever does good must know that it is a divine energy who allowed him to do so. And whoever is protected from evil must know that it is a divine energy who protected him. And this I would love for you to reflect on, because again, in this quotation, the actual word is Allah. So it's talking about God, it's talking about divine energy, it's talking about Krishna or Shiva or anyone you want to put into that you connect to divine energy. In this, I'm using this quotation because this land here in Gili Islands, and this Gili is definitely larger Muslim population than Hindu population. And I see that even here, there's so much divine and not divine. And so there are people being protected from evil. There are people who are doing really good. And all of that energy is from a divine source. Now, let's say the people who are going towards evil, do I say that as a divine source that's helping them go towards evil? No, I don't. Because I think that's a human ego that allows us to do that. Today, I'd love for you to reflect on these ideas. I hope that you get something out of it. And I hope you remember, we are that. So in Sanskrit, Tattvam Asi, we are this divine energy. Now, we can try to own it. Okay, have a great day ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, enjoy this view, and enjoy the view wherever you are too. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.